All right, we got some fantasy football. D Nasty is back, and Dave, what you up to, man? You're not watching any baseball by chance, are you?
Oh yeah, watching my Brewers. It's a little hard to watch right now. We can't get a hit, and Freeman's going off on us. But yeah, it's nice that we're in the next round. It'd be nice to beat the Dodgers, but the team that they bought is pretty tough though, so it's going to be tough sledding, I think, against this team.
Living on borrowed money, my friend. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the only thing that I guess as a Cubs fan, losing the Brewers tough, but I will say the Brewers had more heart this year and definitely tried a lot harder. It seemed in these big situations, and give them a lot of credit. It's kind of weird though. It's like everyone's sick of the Dodgers too. It's like baseball is worse than the NFL when it comes to that. But I'm also watching my Bears right now, and they can't seem to not have a penalty every time they have a movement. It's just very strange. But it's just scored like Odunze just scored, and then all of a sudden illegal formation, and it's like Troy Aikman calls him out. He's like, "No, that wasn't illegal. And there's nothing fucking illegal about it." I like Aikman. I'm glad he does that.
Yeah. Oh, that play yesterday by the Lions, actually, he didn't get set, but that was a pretty ridiculous play. Would you see the one where they threw it to Goff, where Montgomery threw it to Goff? That was
yes,
ridiculous.
I did. It was the first drive, and it cost someone $500,000 because he had 5,000 on 90 to 1, or that Goff gets first touchdown. It was
Really?
yeah, it
Wow.
was absolutely insane. I mean, look, if you miss the call and you don't throw a flag, you can't go back and do it. You don't. Otherwise, why don't you do it for the whole freaking game? You know,
Yeah.
I'm all right. I can't keep going on about that. Bye weeks, Dave.
I know
Who
what
we
you're
got?
saying, though.
Who we got in the buys?
Only two buys this week, so it's a quiet week on buys again this week. Two major teams, though. We got the Ravens, who we'll talk about here shortly with their quarterback situation. But definitely want to get Mark Andrews, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers. Those are going to be the major guys, and Lamar Jackson when he's back, but he's not back yet. So we'll talk about that here shortly, too, as well. But then we got the Bills. That's a powerhouse for fantasy purposes. Even though Dalton Kincaid didn't play this week. He was out, a late scratch, but him on your bench, Josh Allen, James Cook,
They're
Ray
losing.
Davis potentially,
Man, they're going to lose two in a
Keon
row
Coleman.
here. They're going to lose
What's
two in a
that?
row. 24-14 with a minute left. The Bills are down. They're going to lose two in a
Wow,
row. Yeah.
that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Until Atlanta too, I was shocked. Yeah,
I bet Atlanta because of all the injuries on the defense. But if your offense is only putting up 14 points, dude, that's on your offense right there.
that is definitely. Yeah, that's surprising. It's been a lot. The last loss too is a shocker as well. So yeah, the Bills are struggling a little bit right now. But yeah, those are the only two buys this week. Talking to the Bills, so yeah, get all those Bills out of your line and all those Ravens out of your lineups this week.
Jesus, that guy was wide open. Now the Commanders pull ahead. Well, yeah, I mean, there is the Ravens was. I mean, I already had Lamar out of my lineups the past couple of weeks. I mean,
Yeah,
definitely Henry. But with Lamar out of the lineup, you probably have Trey Flowers out. You probably have Andrews out. You probably
Zay
have
Flowers. Yeah.
guys. Zay Flowers, right? So good call. Let's get into the key injuries here, and there's a few of them. Puka Nacua, Dave. That's kind of the bigger one, but it's not like season ending. It's week to week, I think, with that ankle. Rebecca Ibuka, hammy, week to week, I would say. Tight end Mike Gesicki out for the Bengals with a pec injury. I don't know how long he's out, but he's out for a little while. And same with David Njoku with an injury. Wide receiver Dontavian Wicks for the Packers with an ankle. Running back Blake Corum with an ankle. Wide receiver Garrett Wilson with a hyperextended knee. He's out a few weeks. And Calvin Ridley has a hammy for the Titans, who's not really if you're starting Calvin Ridley, it's not a good year for you. Wide receiver Darius Slayton for the Giants is also out with a hammy. Definitely the worst injury was another 49er this week. And holy cow, Dave, that was pretty gruesome. Broken ankle.
Yeah.
The best linebacker, maybe the best linebacker, Fred Warner in the whole league, right? Or him and Roquan, I would say.
I hate to see that. Yeah, Fred Warner is one of my favorite linebackers. One of my favorite IDP players. Great player too, like you said. It's hard to see that injury. So, and then Trey Hendrickson actually left too. He's another huge IDP guy. He left the game against the Packers too, and he didn't return. So that was another big injury this week as well. Cooper Rush got benched for Tyler Huntley. So Tyler Huntley is expected of ab, but they're saying that Lamar Jackson should be back after their bye this week, so you should probably be able to plug Lamar back into most of your lineups after the bye, actually. So they said that he's going to be healthy. Amari DiMarcardo left with an ankle injury. We'll talk about his backup, who had a pretty good week. That we'll look at picking him up possibly. And then you hit most of the major ones actually here. The Warner one is the biggest one on offense. Or I'm sorry, on defense for sure. So, but yeah, I had most of the same ones as you. So you covered all the major ones. There wasn't pretty quiet on the injury front, other than the big Warner injury and the Puka injury. Those were the two major ones this week.
Yep. That's right. We kind of hit them then. Let's go to the waiver wire, Dave. Let's see here. What do you have for waivers?
All right, great. So Bryce Young, actually, another 3 touchdowns this week. If some of these possibly still out there by a chance on waivers, definitely scoop him up. He's scored at least 19.7 fantasy points against New York in 6 games. So he could be a low-end starter this week. And then Jalen Coker, who's actually coming back for him. He's been out 6 weeks with a quad injury, but they said that he's going to run with He's going to run with the starting offense, though, when he comes back. So speculative ad for him. A couple of Carolina Panthers for you. Mac Jones has actually been playing well with Purdy out, so speculative ad for him. If he's still out there too as well, definitely add him. Joe Flacco, he actually was pretty good against the Packers. I was a little afraid of him in that first half when he kept leaving. Him and Chase were hooking up left and right, so he made Chase
had Packers in Survivor, man, and so did 50% of the nation. It was a little worrisome when it was down 6. I was at a Packer bar with my wife, and I'm wearing a Bears jersey. And I'm like, dude, I hate to tell you this. I'm kind of going for the Packers. Otherwise, I'm not a survivor.
It's a good pick on your part. But yeah, I was sweating that out. So yeah, definitely add Flacco. He's going to be their starter going forward. So I like him as a pick. Carson Wentz, he should be starting after the bye. They're saying JJ McCarthy still might not return. So some people might have dropped him out at the bye week, before the bye week. So definitely add him. Jacoby Brissett threw over 300 yards, and he actually kept them in the game the whole time. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 320 yards passing. So had a great day. He's got the weapons. One guy we didn't talk about too is Marvin Harrison Jr. actually left with a concussion. He might not play this next week. So we'll talk about Zay Jones. This is the guy you want to pick up to replace him this week. Zay Jones came in and actually had a good week. Kamani Vidal, actually, your D-Nasty sleeper last week. Had a great game, actually. He was the main guy, and Haskins wasn't, which was kind of a surprise. 142 rushing yards, 4 receptions for 15 yards, and a touchdown. So if no one picked him up last week, definitely grab him. Zonovan Knight, he's going to be the backup now behind Carter. He actually had a pretty good week this week. He had 2 touchdowns, 2 receptions, 33 yards, and 45 yards rushing. So definitely add him. He could surpass Carter possibly, but if he doesn't, he's still going to get quite a few carries and looks. So he did this past week. Taj Spear, he actually is kind of taking over that backfield for Pollard now. He had more snaps this past week, a higher percentage on offensive snaps as well. So definitely look at adding him if possible. Emmanuel Wilson, he just when Jacobs is resting, he's actually getting some carries now as well. A couple receivers here that I was talking about. Kashan Butte. Some people might have dropped him. He was a huge ad the first couple of weeks. He had a big game that first couple of weeks. But now he stepped back up. He had another solid game, and Drake May is actually looking really well too lately. So definitely like him. And then Josh Downs, actually, he's been playing really well the last 2 weeks. These are his stats the last 2 weeks. 15 targets, 12 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. So definitely add him. Tutu Atwell, add him for the Puka Nuka injury. He's coming back this next week and will play. And they said he's going to take the majority of his carries. And then Zay Jones, like I was saying before, if Harrison doesn't play, definitely add him. And then they're saying too, actually, the reports are saying that Christian Watson actually might be back this week 7. So they said he's been practicing. He said they might activate him for week 7. So definitely pick him up if you can, while you still can. Harold Fannin Jr., I like him for the Njoku injury. Definitely add him. He had a huge game after Njoku left, so definitely add him. Michael Mayer, we talked about him last week with Bowers out. He had a nice game as well. He had a touchdown this past week. Another guy we haven't talked about, Aronde Gadsden II. He had a really good game this past week, and he with Quinn Johnson out, he kind of stepped up and he soaked up some of those targets that Quinn Johnson was getting. He had a nice game this past week.
All right. I have a lot of the same ones. Jordan Whittingham for the Nakua injury too. Tutu Atwell's coming back this week. Jalen Hyatt maybe for the Slayton injury. It's not like it's more of a speculative in a deeper league. Maybe you just hold on to him. He was supposed to be good when he came out of Tennessee. He just hasn't really been. Wide receiver Josh Reynolds for the Garrett Wilson injury. Noah Fant for the Gesicki. Harold Fannin for the Njoku. Those tight ends. Jacoby Brissett. I mean, stash him. Murray's just, I don't know, man. I'm wondering if this was a revenge game for Brissett and Murray was kind of banged up and Murray took the week off. I don't know any about that, but Brissett's interesting, especially if you're in a 2-quarterback league. Bryce Young, like you said, completely agree. The dude's been balling, man. He's probably worth owning and having a backup. And he's got a pretty easy schedule too, so that's always good. Kayshon Boutte, absolutely, Dave. Good call on that. I had him down right away. Lots of catches for Kayshon Boutte and Hollywood Brown. I mean, he's in some waivers, and
he's been looking good.
He's been looking good. Tight end Michael Mayer, as long as Brock Bowers is out, and Bowers could be that guy that's in and out every week to week. He could be this nagging injury. I think Mayer's a good second tight end. Josh Downs for the Colts has been more than relevant, and he's been fantastic as well. So I'm with you on all those. Sleepers, non-starters trending up for week 7. And I'll start with Travion Henderson against the Titans is fun. Debo Samuel against the Cowboys for sure, especially if McLaurin's still going to be out, right? Come on, Bears. Kenneth Gainwell against the Bengals. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers against the Bengals. But Dave, in 2 weeks, he plays the Packers.
It's going to be a huge game. Huge game.
Can't wait.
I know.
Right. Ashton Denty. I don't know if you're starting him or not, but against the Chiefs' run defense is still bad. I mean, he might be a good start against the Chiefs, to be honest. I don't know. It's tough with him. RJ Harvey against the Giants, I think, will get a lot of running yards. Spencer Rattler against the Bears. Chris Olave against the Bears. Tight end Juwan Johnson against the Bears. Oh, Jesus. What a bad sack the Bears just took. And Caleb Williams against the Saints should be good. DJ Moore against the Saints should be good. Bryce Young at the Jets, Dave. Why not? I mean, it is a letdown spot, but Bryce Young balling out, and the Jets have been terrible. Panthers defense, too. Why not? Panthers defense. We haven't had to say that in a while, but that defense has been improved. Wide receiver, Rashee Rice. Definitely. Rashee Rice. Don't forget about Rashee Rice. He's back in the lineup against the Raiders. This should be a big game for him. Get a bunch of yards. And then Kareem Hunt, of course, against the Raiders. Those are my non-starters trending up. Dave, who are yours?
Yeah, I liked a lot of those as well. I like the Kenneth Gainwell and Rodgers. I like both of them against the Bengals. I had those two on mine as well. I like Spencer Rattler, and I think Alvin Kamara. I know he's a borderline starter right now, but I think he has a good game too. Kendra Miller could have a pretty good game too against the Bears. I like those matchups. I like Gabriel against the Dolphins. Dolphins defense hasn't done anything really this year. I like Gabriel against them and Junkins against both of those guys against that poor Dolphins D. I do agree with you on the Chiefs run D, and they're actually. I read a stat today too that they don't have very good coverage and very good defense against tight ends either. So I'm putting Meyer in that conversation too. Genty and Meyer. I like Meyer against the Chiefs D too. They said they've given up touchdowns in the last couple of games to all the tight ends playing. So I like that matchup for them as well. I like the Panthers, like you said. Bryce Young, I like that. I like him. I like Jalen Coker too. I was talking about him before. I think with him coming back, I think Young's going to be even better. I think that he's going to be looking for Coker quite a bit. He liked him as a target last year. Drake May, he's borderline, almost a must start now going forward. He's been playing really well. I like Travon Henderson too, and Ramad Stevenson too. Both those guys, I think, could have some nice games against that poor Titans D. I like Harvey as well and Dobbins. Both those guys. Dobbins is probably a starter right now, but I like both of them. Marvin Mims even could have a pretty good game, and we haven't talked about him for a little bit. Or Troy Franklin, I think either one of those guys could maybe have a nice game against the Giants as well. I think they scored a lot of points. Detami and Wicks, I think, could have and Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden actually had kind of a semi-breakout game this past week. I think he's only going to keep getting better though, so I like him against that Cardinals D. So I say Golden and Wicks if he's healthy. He had that sprained ankle, but I like that. Commanders, I love that matchup against the Cowboys. Cowboys can't stop anybody right now. Their defense is just horrendous. Oh, my God. I like Debo this week for sure. I like Bill at running back. And then I like if McLaren is back, but I don't think he's going to be back like you said. I think he's still going to be out. So definitely Debo. I like that matchup for him. 49ers D, they're a decent D, but with Warner out, I definitely like Ty Algier against them. He had a touchdown tonight as well, but I think he gets some too. That run D is going to suffer now with Warner out quite a bit, I think. So I like that matchup as well.
All right. Let's get to busts. I mean, I only have 6 busts because, Dave, to be honest with you, these defenses have been shit this year in the NFL. And
no easier way to put it.
Yeah, and so go ahead. I'm curious what you have, but I don't have a lot. Oh.
I still like the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I think they had a week off now and they rested with the poor Bengals offense coming in there. I don't like any of the Bengals this week. I don't like Brown. Chase is still a must start, but Higgins I think is Higgins is borderline start.
I think the fact you have Flacco, it really helped Chase owners, man.
Yeah. Definitely did, but I think this week they're going to struggle a little bit against that. Steelers have a tough pass rush too, so Flacco can't move. So I don't like the Bengals this week really against him. You're still starting Chase, but other than that, I don't think you're starting any other Bengals. You're not touching them probably. The Rams D has actually been playing pretty well, so I'm saying I don't like Trevor Lawrence this week. I'm downgrading him. Travis Etienne, I think I'm downgrading him as well too. I think the Rams have a better defense than most people think, so I don't like that matchup. I don't like the Vikings this week against the Eagles. The Eagles have a good D. They're struggling a little bit lately, though, but their defense has still been playing really well. I don't like Carson Wentz or still starting Jefferson, just like Chase. You can't bench those. Those are must starts, but I don't like Mason either against the Eagles. I don't like that matchup for them. Patriots have actually been playing well this lately, and the Titans struggle on offense, so you're probably not starting any Titans anyways, but I just don't like that matchup anyways. You're starting the Patriots D this week. You're streaming them probably this week for sure.
Yeah, it's a weird situation. You got the coach fired spot, which usually fires up the team so that they don't get the blame. And then you have the revenge spot for Vrabel.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then a couple of the ones too. That's just a couple tough matchups here. The Lions against the Tampa Bay. I think those two teams are both good on offense, though. So, like you said, those defenses both have struggled a little bit. So I can't really say anything there. Texans though have a good defense, though. I think the Seahawks can struggle a little bit against there. I think their ground game maybe struggles a little bit against the Texans D. So probably Kenneth Walker and Cabernet maybe struggle a little bit. JSN's still going to get his. All those top-notch receivers are still starting, but Darnold could struggle a little bit too against that Texans D.
For sure. All right. My busts are I'm going to go DeAndre Swift against the Saints. I think the Saints run D is good. It's just their pass D is
they're
bad.
still good.
Saquon Barkley against the Vikings, man. What happened to Saquon this year? He's really tough. You probably have to start him. It's not like a bust, but man, it's just not looking good for the Eagles. Sam Darnold against the Texans, I think, is dangerous. Texans coming off the bye. Jackson Dart at the Broncos. I don't like that one at all. And, that coach there, Dayball, he's going to get him hurt the way he's running him constantly. It's just the way it's ugly every time. I cringe every time I see it. Let's see here. Daniel Jones at the Chargers is also kind of suspect. The Chargers have pretty good D.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
And they have to rely on their D, and, they're going to run the ball a lot. I just don't like Danny Jones a lot this week. Josh Jacobs, too, at the Cardinals is very suspect. Geno, I don't think you're starting Geno, but Geno, Chiefs, that don't look good.
No.
And I would say pretty much any Raiders receivers. I do like the tight ends more like you did, but Geno and the receivers is probably not good. That's all I have.
Yeah, and I agree with you too on the Chargers one. I don't like Daniel Jones too, and then Dart's probably going to struggle a little bit against that tough Broncos D too. But that leads us into the Dynasty Sleeper of the Week. You want to go first?
Sure. I got the Mike Vrabel revenge game. Kayshon Boutte, my friend, against the Titans. That's who I'm going with.
All right, I was going to actually go Drake May, but I'm going to go Bryce Young. Bryce Young has actually been improving every week here. He's coming off a 3-touchdown game against that poor Dallas D. Jets D is not much better, so I'm going with Bryce Young actually this week as my Dynasty Sleeper.
Love it. Let's go Bryce Young this week. I like it, man. That's good stuff. No trade questions. So there you go. We got no trade questions this week. That's all right. Everyone's just focused on all these all the football games going on. Anything we miss?
No, I don't think so. You just make sure you get those couple bye week players out this week. And good luck, everyone, this week.
Yes, best of luck. Make sure you get your buys out and your guys coming back in. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you have questions for us, feel free to tweet us at the Oddsbreakers, email us at info@theoddsbreakers.com. Have a wonderful rest of your week and go get some winners.